watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.
A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching us. Yes, a brand new show, brand new week, and this time round we are focusing on East Africa. We have seen a huge shift of economy within the East African region, with Kenya, of course, dominating at 132 GDP billion USD, and Ethiopia following with 117. And of course, Tanzania is not to be left behind with 85 million GDP. Now, sticking to Tanzania, we have seen, the Gen Zs out on the street protesting that they actually did not elect the current president that has just been sworn in, Her Excellency President Samia, the new president of Tanzania. I mean, practically, we would say that within that region of East Africa, she would be the first elected female president, which I want to say congratulations. And, we want to expand on this today and just focus on the political side of the region, economical side of the region, and of course the social side of it. So here with me today, joining me on the hot seat, is the veteran broadcaster, the one and only East African, well, he's known all over Africa and also in the diaspora, the one and only Dr. Julius Baluto.
Thank you. Always
Welcome.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you. Welcome on the show. What a time, an incredible time to be alive, to see what's happening in our East African region.
Yeah, East Africa is on the move. That's the way I want to put it.
Yes.
Across. Lived, as Kenyan and grew up.
Yes.
Child of, son of the soil.
Talk
About East Africa now.
Yes.
But cast my mind back, I see a lot of changes
Right.
from East Africa. There's a time when all the three countries, like it was just three countries, East Africa, when it started, Uganda,
Yes.
Tanzania, and Kenya.
Yes.
And when you look into that,
The big three.
exactly the big three,
Yes.
in the era of course, single party rulership, extremely information controlled and everything.
Yes.
Oh, there is a time, by the way, there is a time you could not even just say anything negative about the president.
You say anything and you
And,
disappear.
Yep, there's a time whereby, if I remember well,
Yes.
a politician was in trouble.
Yes.
Because he was talking about succession. If the president died, succession, how is
Yes.
it like? And he was taken, challenged and taken to task. Because why? He's crying. Why did you imagine the death of the president? Imagination.
Yes, and then now,
But now,
cast
cast my
it
mind
back
where we are
now,
now.
where-
Things
now-
have changed. That's
It's
where I'm
incredible,
coming
isn't it?
to. A lot of changes happening, because you have the second wave of freedom fighting. They call it in Kenya second liberalization, and all this happening across East African countries, embracing multi-party democracy. And now where we are is beyond that. Now we have the Gen Z's era.
So I wonder what we should term this era, because we've mentioned the big three countries, the Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and of course the
Now we have-
economy rising. Now we
Yeah.
have over 10 of them within that region.
It's eight.
It's eight of
So
them,
yeah,
yes.
the latest inclusion will be Rwanda, Burundi,
Yes.
and then we have also
Djibouti.
Somalia, South
Sudan.
Sudan. That's
Yes,
it.
yes.
Djibouti is not part of
Djibouti
it.
is not part of
Ethiopia
it.
is
They
not
haven't
part of
come.
it.
Ethiopia
And
is not.
Somalia, I think, also got in as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've seen what's happening at the moment. The Gen Zs now read between the lines, they read the constitution, and it's traveling. I would say it's traveling from Kenya. Kenya is the leader in this, and then it trickled down to Uganda, and then now to Tanzania. Now, the Gen Z population right now, if you ask them about all of the three presidents they would call them the unwanted three. What do you think? They'll call them the unwanted three.
It's good to speak from what has been
Yes.
in the public domain. It's good to speak from what's out there in public domain.
Right.
We're analyzing thoughts of
Yes.
people, what they are saying.
Yes.
And it's important also to think why this has been the case. Of course, Gen Z's, protests began in Kenya 2024. That finance bill 2024 got them to go to the streets. And they came out very powerfully,
Right.
pretty much organized, pretty much knowledgeable. I want to say totally different from previous generations, because previous generations before the Gen Z's protests, people were not very keen on politics. They were like,
No, we
don't
didn't
they
really
never,
care. We
they
didn't even read the
understand.
Constitution. We didn't read the
Because
manifestos.
life was
Yes.
a bit
Yes.
okay, so no push, nothing. But we are dealing with a generation that, number one, they're techno-savvy. They are very knowledgeable as well, and they have that extra energy to focus on a cause when they are very united,
Right.
and they're fearless.
And they're tribeless.
And they're tribeless, especially. That's how the Gen Z's
Yes.
protest began in Kenya. And now we saw what it achieved. Now, where we are now with Tanzanian case, I really want, there are two issues we have to address when we talk about Tanzania.
Right.
I know TikTok was awash with jokes hitting rounds. Tanzanian Gen Zs asking Kenyan Gen Zs, come and help us. So I don't want what has gone out in the public. Tanzanian government always hiding all they did to their own people under the umbrella.
You
It was
can't hide
incitement.
it. You can't-
It's incitement
Yes.
from foreigners. That is a very important point. I want to say Tanzanian citizens, they are educated, they are knowledgeable, they know what they want. And they've been seen by the system, political system that I've ever been there. And I can say this with no fear of any contradiction.
Right.
They have been seen as like laid back and not challenging and perhaps not bothered with politics. I want to say it is the shoe wearer who knows where it hurts most. And these protests, I want Tanzanians to own it, because it's about Tanzanian.
Yes.
The opposition leaders from Tundu Lissu, who are still behind bars, who have been behind bars.
Yes.
The abductions of Tanzanians were happening to Tanzanians by their own government, and that has nothing to do with
The
foreigners.
international community.
This is a very important point to make. So where we are now, I want Tanzania government to own the protests, not to wash
own
it
the
away
problem,
like
to
it's
own-
foreners.
To own
It's
the
foreigners.
genesis,
It's
the genesis
foreigners.
of the issue. To
It's not
own
foreigners,
it.
it's
Yes.
Tanzanians.
I mean, who would have thought, our generation and the generation before us, we would never be confident to even threaten the government with ICC. We would never do that.
No.
Now, the Gen Zs are actually threatening the current sworn-in president in Tanzania with ICC.
And you know what? When internet is off in Tanzania, it isn't foreigners who have come to switch it off, give us a break. No, it isn't foreigners. It is Tanzanians government that has done that. So when we talk about who are crying, it is Tanzanian. Is as Tanzanians saying is foreigners who are hurting them. And you know what? I really want to lift Tanzanians up there, and I want to see them, which is the truth. Educated people, knowledgeable people, people who knows the problems of their country, people who want to see that changed. Very important.
Do you think that the current government has underestimated the power of these Gen Zs? They have underestimated. Tanzanians are usually known to be, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they're usually known to be slower. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they take things
laid back, like they don't want to be involved.
They don't want to be
No, they
involved.
cannot be.
They go at a slower pace. It's like tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. It's like, don't worry, Hakuna Matata, Although Kenyans, they will say Hakuna Matata, but really Hakuna Matata should be Tanzania. They are the ones who, that's their logo.
Put it
But
this way,
anyway,
it was a peaceful country.
do you think that the current administration really underestimated.
100%.
Yes.
Because why? The thing is, even jokes hitting rounds, and I'm speaking about what is public, what is out there in the public domain. Jokes by Tanzanians themselves. They used to joke around during the protest in Kenya. They used to say, Kenyans, we won't do what you're doing.
Yes, exactly.
You must
You're
be
too much. Yes.
too much. It's just beyond what ourselves will do. Those are now narratives from TikTok, from social media, by Tanzanians themselves when they were judging themselves as best going on. Now, the other thing also, in a different way, again, it's in public domain. Nothing what is Julius saying here is the president quoted of Tanzania's, talking about Kenya, saying they banned their country. It's there. Yeah, not me saying it. They banned their country. And whenever that happens, investors leave. And that's why they had more investors in Tanzania fleeing Kenya.
Right.
This is one narrative that's very important to contextualize. Now, when you see the leadership of a country saying, oh, that's a Kenyan thing. Yeah?
It's a Kenyan problem.
That is a Kenyan thing. That's how Kenyans
that's
are.
How Kenyans are. That we're not.
They like violence.
Yes.
That's not how we are. That was the judgment they were judging themselves. But actually, when you look what happened, it was, oh my goodness, it was even way beyond. When you see the amount of destruction, which is sad.
Thought,
we are not supporting any of that.
They've surpassed us now.
Yeah. If you were to compare, you'd be like, are these, even people are like, are these Tanzanians?
Yeah.
They told us they couldn't do ABC. Is it them? So I'm bringing this conversation from the other point. And I want to say that, very important
but do you
point.
think
Let me
maybe
finish this point. I just want to say this point, which is very important. If Tanzanian government want to advocate for dialogue, then they have to be willing to make sure they don't see this as a problem of brought by foreigners. They own it. Because when they own it, then they'll realize, oh my goodness, we have some of our people already in jails, waiting some prosecutions. We initiated all these things. What was their crime? They were advocating for reforms. It wasn't Kenyans who told Tanzanians to advocate for reforms. Right. So where are we with that issue, the reforms agenda? Because when they wanted to say, we are going to talk, we are welcoming people on the table to talk, that's where it should have started before it got where we are.
Yeah, it's very easy to use the international community as a scapegoat. But let's come back to their economy. Tanzania's economy has risen under Samir's rule. We have to be honest. They are third right now after Ethiopia. So do you think that maybe, and maybe I don't want to be a devil's advocate here, but do you think maybe they just feel like we've just elected a female president? Maybe they feel it's not right to elect a female president. What do you think? Because in Africa still, Julius, let's be honest. In Africa, okay, Namibia has democratically elected their president. Yeah. She won fair and square. Yeah. We had Salif back then, who was democratically elected, won fair and square. We're 54 countries. We have 54. But when you can count, Joyce Banda inherited from, when the president died and she became president, And so we're seeing that there's still not that much political space for the female politician, for the female leader. So for me, one aspect of it, I'm thinking, is she being categorically picked on because of her gender? Is it that they think, okay, she's only good to inherit, but not good to carry on as the legitimately elected president? I could have really gone extreme, but I just
want to say, I just want to say that Africa, we have 54 countries.
Yes.
Now, Africa continent is the richest in the world with the numbers of language spoken.
Yes.
Africa, over 2,000 languages are spoken, over 2,000. And that's factually correct, checked. Now, this, remember, when you are from Africa, a language constitutes a group, a cultural difference, and different culture from each other. Let's even use Kenya to illustrate. When you talk about Kikuyu as a tribe, that's a language spoken in Kenya. Kikuyus alone could go up to 7 million people in terms of population. Talk about Luos, Kambas, Lujas, all of them. Each tribe will constitute a different cultural practice. Now, I'm bringing this on course to also bring the idea that it isn't that in Africa all cultures are different. No, they are different. See, the thing is, when we talk about West Africa culture, it's slightly different from East Africa.
Of course, yes.
South, again, is different. So how leadership of a woman will be seen is totally different from different cultures. You know, there are African countries like culture, they love mother figure.
Right.
And that is the case with Tanzania. Because if you look into, a lot of people who are like, oh, yes, it's like your own mom. We trust our moms.
Yes, yes.
They don't do anything wrong, even though they cane you.
Yes.
They say they didn't cane you, they caned the mistake you made.
Yes.
And we are like, okay with that. So when you look into that cultural mindset of Tanzania in terms of looking up to, we have a mama in power.
Yes.
It's the best thing to happen
Mother.
from that cultural context. So although the genesis of President, Excellency President Samia Suluhu, it comes from the death of the former President Magufuli, and then she got in power, constitution, through the constitution, so it's legal and everything. And since that time, actually, there was a wonderful wave of positivity.
Absolutely.
In Tanzania.
Yeah.
Even myself, I was like...
She took the baton and she ran with it. Because she
in Tanzania, I was like...
Yes.
As even in Kenya, I was like, oh, Kenya, East Africa now. We are, it's really good. So I won't say that will be interpreted in terms of election. Put it this way. The Tanzanians election, 2025, was it came in very different phases. The first phase was mishandling of the opposition. They were calling for reforms. Reforms never happened. Then some of them were arrested and prosecuted. And we're talking about big names like Tundu Lissu. Yes. His party is straight away competitor to Chama Cha Mapinduzi. So when you look into that, it was mishandled. And then when they are there, banked even, we are coming to an election whereby a lot of leaders who could be alternative choices to Samia Suluhu, not even having the chance to vie for the election. So, so you see, when you see that setup, that's where you saw protest happening, because people are like,
they were not given a chance.
Number one, the coinage or the phrase that was very key in this election was by Tundu Lissu: no elections, sorry, no reforms, no elections. So when you see that immediately, and his party is huge.
It was like no Raila, no Kenya.
It's still the same narrative, isn't it?
No Raila, exactly. Oh, by the way.
Exactly, almost. So we are not going to think, or we are not going to imply that she was not elected, because we can see today SADC, very huge bloc, Tanzania is a member of it.
Very huge.
I've come out and said the election was not free and fair.
Imagine an
SADC.
African country saying
But
that.
East Africa...
Very quickly, I just mentioned Honorable Raila there, and I wanted us to pay, tribute. We haven't had an opportunity to do that, but, Right Honorable Raila Odinga died on the... we lost him on the 15th of October, and we would say that he was one of the most prominent, not just political, but, most loved, a father, a mentor, a friend of Kenya, a son of, the real son of the soil. And, we just want to pay tribute. May he rest in power. May he rest in love. And, every door that you opened that was shut will remain open, because you did. All the sufferings that you went through for Kenyans, no tribal affiliation, no political affiliation, no nepotism. You know, we pay tribute to you, Honorable Raila Odinga. So rest in peace.
I may he rest in peace. I had a chance to interact with him many times, interviewed him as well. A great, great son of East Africa, son of Africa, who stood for democracy, and he'll be remembered for that.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
to
I mean,
family.
He was a mentor for me. He was a mentor, and I remember every time I met him, you know, he had this thing of, you know, touching my shoulder like his child, like, listen, yeah, this is what you've got to go and do. This is what you can do. This is, you must do it. You know, he was that person that pushed you to go where you were scared to go. So we shall miss you.
Indeed.
We're going to carry on.
Yeah.
We're going to carry on with your great work. Now, I think we have concentrated so much on Samir. She might think that we have something against her, you know. Let's move closer to her. Uganda's election is coming. Is it in February or January?
I haven't checked, but it's 2026.
And of course, still, Museveni is tipped to be still their president. Of course, Bobi Wine has always been a major, you know, opposition leader as well, vying for that seat. But, you know, the Ugandans are comfortable with Museveni. You know, obviously Uganda come forth, you know, their GDP is 64 billion, you know, again, and it's rising. I met the Prime Minister of Uganda last month, and, you know, it was interesting to hear the developments that are going on in Uganda under Museveni's government. And so sometimes us as Africans as well, maybe if somebody is a chef in the kitchen and they're cooking that food and it's nice and you're enjoying, it's nutritious and it's, you know, you're not falling sick from that food. And so why don't you just let the chef stay in the kitchen and carry on cooking? Why don't you let Museveni to carry on leading?
It's because of one lesson. Let me use a very easy to understand illustration. Today, it's the 4th of November 2025. A child who will be born today will be, let's say we start from there. In 100 years to come, most of the people will be gone.
Yes.
We would have left the world. All of us. Even the
That
child
club
born
would have-
today.
that club
Even
would
the
have
child
closed.
born today
Yes.
will have gone with us.
Yes.
All of us.
Yes.
Because no one, you are lucky if you live beyond 100 years. Now, why are we on this planet? We are in this planet, each of us, to make a contribution. And God gives us a talent as individual. And you have a duty to use that talent to make it work, to give back to society. Now, if you're a footballer, they have a retirement age because they need to give chance for future footballers to play the game.
Yes.
So when you talk about, I want to even not go to Museveni, let me start with a character that resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Paul Biya, president of Cameroon. He became president in 1982. My sister, I was in primary school and I'm not a young person, right? No.
But the people vote for him. The food is nice. The chef.
I'll come to that.
Yeah.
It's
The
not
chef
about
should
the
be- yes.
serving.
Yes.
It's the cooking as well. It's about cooking. It's how to you put the meal together on the table.
Yeah.
So when you look into that, that character today is 92 years old. He happened to appoint a lot of his henchmen. So it's a parliament full of. We wouldn't
People
talk
falling
about. We wouldn't talk about age. It's a bad thing. We're all gonna be old one
But
day.
we have to be
And we
careful
respect
not to be,
our elders
not to
as
be
well.
ageist.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. We
But
respect
I
our
hear
elders.
what you're trying to say.
But what I'm trying to say is
Yeah.
that chance to give everybody a chance to give back, to lead if they can. If your talent is in leadership, you need to live in a country whereby that talent can be nurtured and actualized. Nurtured and actualized. And that's a challenge to all political elites, political godfathers. Are you mentoring future politicians? Or are you just you just want to keep going and going on? So that character I talked about, will make President Museveni feel like a teenager because, hey, he didn't go to power in 1982. He went in 1986, right?
Right.
Not far from each other.
That's right.
And
They're age mates. They're on the same WhatsApp.
almost the same
on the same
WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group. Yes.
Exactly.
Let's
But
just put it that way.
he
Yes.
feels like a teenager. Now, you want to tell Africans, let me ask you a question. You want to tell me someone who is 92 years old is vying for 8 more years to go?
Right.
So by the time he leaving office, he'll be shying away from the 100 years mark? Seriously, it should come a time whereby, no matter what job you do, spend some time with your grandchildren. Leave that time. Just leave that time.
Could it be these are the
time.
people that when we say people are born leaders, maybe Paul Biya was born a leader, you know, Museveni was born a leader. Some people are born to take that mantle
There's nothing
and never
new.
to pass on that mantle.
There is nothing new under the sun. I get shocked when I choose to search for things I want to do, even names I want to give them. I always go and I'm shocked. How come this person thought the same thing as I did? I wanted, for example, to start to come up with a particular brand, whatever it is. Try to Google because you cannot name the same thing with another people's. They own the brand before you. You keep searching. All these names have been taken, and I'm like, some of them a long time ago, even before I was born. So there's nothing new under the sun. And let us agree as Africans that a child born today has the right to be a president of their country in their lifetime. And we are saying, if you stay there for 40 years, you have wasted chance for four different generations. 4 different generations lost that chance because you wanted to hang on. But what are you giving back? What is that new thing that you want to give that you never did?
Right.
Please. Obama was a very good president in the US. He was loved, even if he was going to like that time, he would have been voted for.
Yes.
But he was like, I want to chill with my family. I've been too busy working for the nation. So our leaders, please and please, try and leave office when you have energy to spend with your children. Don't die there. Don't stay there forever because other people want it too.
Yeah, well, it's an African thing. Look at Rwanda as well. You know, we're not far, of course. And then now let's come to Kenya, who is going to be challenging President Ruto.
That's a very hot potato to handle. Yes. It's a too hot potato to handle. You know the funny thing with let me put it that straight there.
Yes.
Kenyan politics is never predictable.
No, it's not.
And it's never straightforward.
Somebody can come
and I'll quickly
from nowhere.
I can quickly give you an example. We went to election 2022 with properly defined 2 powerful camps. UDA, that was Kenya Kwanza plus Azimio. Azimio led by, God rest his soul in peace, Raila Odinga. And then you have Kenya Kwanza with President William Ruto. Now, it was so clear. That's the way it was. And then immediately they joined power. Now, other politicians are leaving their party, joining the other side and crisscrossing. But I just wanted to point out that even before those 2 giants, there was still political formations and affiliation before that.
That's right.
Before they settled for that.
Yes.
Right now, each party of that, none of them is standing united because of the movements from opposition leader joining the government, broad-based government. Azimio is divided. It's not singing with one voice. The same thing with UDS, not singing with one voice. So when you cast your mind further ahead, we haven't seen the future, the political formation and affiliation and grouping.
You know,
it's going to change.
It is going to change. You know, Kenya is the leader economically within that region, but also Kenya is a leader in forming and coming up with new ideas of running a country. You know, we had the unity government, and now we have the broad-based government. You know, only Kenya can do that, you know. After the next 4 years, there will be something else. Watch it. In 2027, after the elections, there will be something else. But let's go back to the broad-based government, where opposition leaders have obviously crossed
They
the
crossed
floor.
ranks. They crossed the
And
floor.
now, essentially, we don't have opposition in Kenya. How do you predict 2027 elections to go? Which way is it going? Are we now a one-party system?
There was a joke a long time ago when Kenya was a single party state.
Yeah.
That time you could not talk about forming another political party.
During the Moi era.
Yeah, exactly. You could not. Illegally, it was illegal. Section 2A of the Kenyan Constitution made Kenya a one-party state, which means no other political party could be formed. And it was during that moment one of the politicians made a joke which was scary to do. So he said that, at that particular time, he was enjoying politics of multi-party politics. Imagine at such a time making such a statement. And he was like, where's the other party? When was it formed?
Yes.
Where are we with this? And he ended up saying, sorry, it's a one multi-party of KANU. Now, if you now know, KANU was the only party.
One multi-party of KANU.
So when I look at what's happening today, the idea that opposition could join the government, they are still working together. That's one big multi-party of almost one party. I just want to.
Essentially, in Kenya, there's no winner, there's no loser.
Jokes
So
aside,
it doesn't matter if you're the government of the day or the opposition leader, because right now there's no winner, there's no loser. They're all operating under one pot.
I think it matters. Each country
Does it?
deserves a credible opposition who will put the government on toes and check them. It's all about checking. Because, put it this way, there can be a very huge abuse when politicians just work together. Because now they are working together. When they go to parliament, they will gang up together. They will pass bills to increase their salaries. Yeah. Right. Some of the most controversial bills was like, now we can legalize men marrying more than one wife. We can legalize it. Yes. So when you see the bills coming, they're all serving self-interest when there's no proper opposition. Now, to the credit of Kenya, and this is what I want to say, Kenya is an amazing country when it comes to management of politics. It's like, yes, you see the opposition is there, but sometimes when we get in a dark corner, whereby things could go wrong
in the country.
Politics
is set aside.
Our leaders know how to quickly sacrifice their interests and come back
They
for the sake of the country.
First. Yes,
exactly, for the sake of the country. So I like that as a good quality.
No, and I think
Kenya,
there's one person to credit for this.
Yeah,
Honorable Raila.
Yeah. He's done that severally.
He is the one that led, this way of running a country. He led it in such a way that, yes, you do not have to be in government, but you can still from the outside make sure that you contribute and make sure that the country is running. Yeah. And so for me, how I see 2027 going, by the way, Kenya is also very, very interesting, is from the day of the elections and the results are out, there's people already planning for
campaign next general election.
That night,
you have to campaign.
Yes,
that night. What you have done is election is over. Yes. That's dusted. That's done and dusted. It's behind me.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking about 2027, and you start to campaign one day after the election, previous election.
You add again 4 years, and then you think about the next.
Yes. I was saying Kenya is a very political country, right? It's like we have politics for breakfast, politics for lunch, politics for dinner, and we want to go for more snacks for politics as well. Yes. It's such a political country. It's not a bad thing. It's good for people to be politically aware, because at the end of the day, you can only make informed decisions when it comes to voting if you've been following and you've been keen on politics. I was shocked by the Gen Zs, because these are guys who can check constitution. They will check what they're allowed, what needs to change, and they will go just out there. They will just go there, and immediately, what is unfavorable in parliament, they follow it, and they are following it live. Even debates in parliament, even voting in parliament, they are out there, but they're following live.
I think
And it's not
because-
just in Kenya, even in diaspora. I was going through this in London.
because they know the
you know?
Gen Zs know that we are tired.
Exactly.
The
So
generation before them, they're tired.
political awareness
Mhm.
is a very important thing, because I find people who are very, s- very passive, they don't want to be involved. They're like, oh, we elected them, let them just carry on with their thing. I'll do my work as long as there's no war, everything is hunky-dory.
Yes.
No. You see, I always challenge people, from your child to yourself, your life as well.
Yes.
It's controlled by politics. The laws you follow in parliament, out there, they are made in parliament. That's why they call it legislative house. That's where they make the laws. They'll affect you tomorrow where you are.
That's right.
Whether you want to get married, laws about marriage, they affect you. They may be made in parliament. So why do you just want to ignore? You see, I see a elite group that they're like, voting is a waste of time. No, it's not a waste of time. Go out there. And we normally call it what? Public duty, civic duty. You are expected by your country to contribute. Do that civic duty. Decide who rules the country, because you live in the country. Don't
right.
just say it's a waste of time, or don't say it's for Gen Zs because they want change, or old people. No. It's all of us.
That's right. Now, we focused on Kenya, of course, the top three: Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and Ethiopia. Let's move swiftly to Rwanda. Where do we place Rwanda? Of course, anybody I meet that knows Rwanda, the first thing they'll say about Rwanda is that Rwanda is very peaceful, very clean country. I think they've built their country based on their an events industry country, isn't it? Because they don't really produce much in terms of manufacturing, isn't it? And so where do we place Rwanda? I mean, of course, they have Kagame, who is
I
the only
cast my
president we
mind.
know
Whenever
after-
we talk about Rwanda,
Mhm.
my mind goes back to 1994, I think it was. And I remember that time, United Nations, under the only African Secretary General, Kofi Annan, United Nations was focused on Bosnia and the countries in Europe. And whatever was happening in Rwanda
was ignored.
They left Rwanda alone. One time, I interviewed a former UK ambassador from Rwanda. I was doing a documentary known as The Wrongs in Africa Today. And I queried him, like, how it came that anytime there was a conflict or anything to be done by Africa, Rwanda was the first one to quickly send their troops there. Like when you talk about stabilizing Somalia, Rwanda is
would be
the
the
quick
key,
one to send their soldiers under the AMISOM. Or even other places. I'm like, how come you guys are the first ones? And he's told me something I'll never forget. He said to me, we learned our lesson. Watching the world come to our aid, no one came. Even when we talk about global governance under United Nations,
yes.
United Nations, Security Council dominated by 5 countries with power of veto, they never held any meeting to talk about how to help Rwanda. They were left alone. And he said to me something which is memorable. We learned our lesson. And if we can do something to stop another country from going through what we went, so be it. We'll be the first one to do it. And I was like, I love that spirit in Africa. I wish under that narrative, we can see East Africa community with a powerful, ready to go, stand-by force. That if there's a problem in East African country, they will even can legally send their troops there and observe until trouble is over. The same thing I wish could be for Africa Union. Because can I just say today, it just doesn't make sense when you watch the quietness, the silence of Africa Union.
It's ceremonial.
Today I'm going to call them out. I'm an African. African. I am the right to call you out. Why are you silent when genocide is happening in Sudan?
South Sudan.
Yeah? Why? Why is African Union silent? Why is African Union? Why the quick
Yes.
to congratulate elections that SADC has dismissed in Tanzania. Why is African Union quiet? Why is it there?
That's right.
What should it be doing for Africans? You see, it was that silence from African Union when they tried to intervene, like in West African countries. I'm talking about Burkina Faso, Guinea, and I think it was Senegal. The threat was like, if you go military way, we are going to
Mali.
kick you out of African Union.
Yes.
And they said, kick us out because you're not helping. Because they can see their region known as Sahel, covering about 6 countries in West Africa, is under terrorism attack. And there's no unified force that is dealing with that. Only tokenism from the US, other countries, France, but it was not solving the problem.
But also,
so Africa Union is about time.
Also
it's about time.
For a case of, thank you for mentioning actually South Sudan. The powerful nations.
I wanted to come to conclude with that point you asked about Rwanda before we forget.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
When I gave that background, I wanted to say, for me, I credit Paul Kagame, president, picking up Rwanda where it was and the Rwanda we see today. I'm not saying
somebody from
it
DRC,
needs,
if somebody
it needs
from DRC was here, they wouldn't really be your friend.
No, I know crisis is all over, divisions are all over. Because when you talk about DRC again, they have the DRC Rwanda issue. But what I'm saying is, to pick up a country like Rwanda, to bring it where it is today,
Kagame's flowers.
It's not an easy task. And the unity they have today as Rwandese people, it's amazing. Governments will make mistakes. They have made mistakes as a government of Rwanda. But what I'm saying, if Rwandese are voting in a credible election and they fought for Kagame, that's totally different. But if it is sham elections, if it's sham elections happening, then that needs to be also called out. But also what I wanted to conclude with people like Kagame, and I also want to talk about Museveni. Museveni picked up Uganda in times of turmoil. Also to have brought Uganda up to where it is. Great. But I want to tell them that a good actor leaves the stage when their act is amazing and is the best they have ever done. Don't live long there and lose your legacy. Don't leave your power when the country will be at war because you refuse to go. Look at Paul Biya now. From 1982, he still wants to keep going. So what I'm saying is, like, African leaders, there should be no leader worth their sword in African country should enjoy to see one person die because they want to cling on power. That power will be cast if people die.
But let me
desire to pursue it.
Let me come in and say this before we leave the Rwanda issue. I think that for Rwanda's case is quite different, seeing as what happened, over 20 years ago, the genocide. Now, they found solace in Kagame, and that's why they queue up to vote for him peacefully, unopposed, because to them, this father has come in to take care of us after the turmoil that they went through so many years. So I think that somebody like Kagame, so for me, if Kagame is there for how many terms and Rwanda stays clean, Rwanda stays, beautiful, like people talk about it, I don't see any issue why they should change. They should change leadership.
Thank you. You made a very important point, because that's a feeling that is shared by other people. Even Museveni puts it better than you have. Museveni says that the longer you stay, the more experience you gain, the better you become.
That's it.
So I want to say that extra experience, use it to enjoy your life with your grandchildren. That's that point. Now, what I'm saying, no matter what good you do, you will always be remembered by the exit point. It is the exit point that becomes your legacy. Right. Robert Mugabe fought for him. He was a, founding father on Zimbabwe.
And he was very passionate about
He was
Zimbabwe.
passionate throughout.
Yes.
But then his departure became his legacy. he saw a situation come where the military commanded went on the side of citizens. And they handled him in a way that he didn't even have a clue what was going on.
Absolutely.
Well, is it a coup? Is it not? It became the coined phrase for that time. It was
Because
a coup that was not a coup.
His
It
own
looked
vice
like,
president
but it
is the one
wasn't.
that organized
Because
it.
on one hand, you see the soldiers
Yes.
on the street with the
Yes.
citizens. They are one together now. You see, so what I'm trying to say is that Museveni of Uganda, President Museveni of Uganda,
Yes.
President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, the good actor always knows what the time to exit the stage is when, when it matters for her. I'll give you a typical, just because I'm not making up words.
I thought you were
Nelson Mandela.
I thought you were going to
Yeah.
mention Ruto in there.
No,
as
no,
well.
no, no,
You were
no,
very
no,
careful.
no.
You were very
no,
careful.
no,
Brian.
no.
You-
Nelson Mandela
Yes.
of South Africa, banked up in Robben Island for 27 years. He came out of prison and he did only one time. When people talk about one time in Kenya, we have examples.
Yes.
Mandela chose to be one time. He wasn't being forced to be one time. That's the difference. He chose to be one time.
But you guys are
And
pushing. You're pushing
legacy,
Ruto to be one time.
when
Why?
they refuse,
Why are you pushing Ruto to be one time?
when they refuse to go,
Yes.
their citizens will always keep shouting one time. But what I'm saying is, like, jokes aside, President Nelson Mandela's legacy today is intact, is clean. This is selfless man. He could have, number one, come, oh my goodness, I have pains of 27 years. Number one, I'm going to deal with those who oppressed me, who banked me up. I'm now the president. I'm going to deal with them. I'm going to revenge.
Dr. Julius, wait.
Yes, so
you're
if
addressing.
I finish that point,
Yes.
and then after all of that, he said, I'm going to forgive. And, for the first time in South Africa, reconciliation committee started, where people started to reconcile. And then he left the stage.
You're addressing the wrong presidents. Kagame and Museveni. You're addressing the wrong presidents. They've been there, of course, for all that time. But now, your own president, Ruto, that has only been there for one term. So you guys are calling him one term.
So you are comparing.
He needs to go. Like,
So you are comparing.
wait. I'm saying
Okay.
Kagame has been there how long? Museveni has been there how long? The people are not telling them go. Ruto's been there just one time. Why are Kenyans telling him to go? Kenya's GDP is the highest ever during his tenure.
I wouldn't.
his era.
I haven't fact checked that.
Fact check it.
So I like to speak
and
from facts.
it's still rising.
So
I'm wondering, because you're saying those
It's
oldies,
not
those
about-
ones who've been there so long. They
No,
need to
governance.
Go.
Look,
but why,
look at
why
this
are
way.
Kenyans asking the one that's trying to build the nation and even take it higher to go?
Shall I answer your question?
Yeah, answer.
Now, the thing is, governance takes different forms. Governance happens with different formations.
Right.
And you're judged by the way you govern your country. Even now, it's not about, looking over your neighbor's house and say, they've done it, we can do it. It's not about that. It's about how are you governing people.
Right.
If you did want to define democracy, the words coined by Abraham Lincoln, former president of USA,
Yes.
he defined democracy as the rule of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Yes.
Kenya has a new constitution promulgated 2010. And one of the embassies Kenyan constitution talk about is the idea that the sovereign power belongs to the people.
Right.
So if you're not going to govern the people according to, they gave you that power to
The
govern them.
style that they want
If
you
you
to
don't govern them according to the style, according to their expectations, they have the legal right to challenge your governance. Now, when you talk about countries like Rwanda
Yes.
or Uganda, shall I also talk about their constitution? Their constitution is not the same as Kenyan constitution, because in Uganda, not long ago, President Museveni, he bribed parliamentarians in Uganda by extending their term by 2 years.
Right.
in
that
exchange,
bribery or was it
in,
passed?
in
Was it
exchange,
passed?
yeah, yeah,
Was
I'll
it
finish.
passed?
No, I'll
The bill
finish.
was
I'm
passed?
coming to that. I'm coming to that. In exchange for that, they took away the limit of
Presidency.
presidential age to give him the right to keep on vying. So, so when you look into what they have done in their country, this matters. Is because there were no legal professions before. When you go to Rwanda, their constitution again. So each country, you judge them by the state of their constitution, by the state of the laws that govern that particular country. And these laws are not the same in all countries. A long time ago in Kenya, for example, before multi-party democracy, before the new constitution, the president will appoint the chair of the electoral commission.
That's right.
This is like a referee for the game, and you still be a player.
But,
The same
but
president
from-
will
from your
appoint
side, yeah.
the same president will appoint judges in court. The same, if you took your case to court, it is his
president's
people.
job,
You
that
go to
judge.
the electoral body, it is his people. That's how we were before in Kenya. But now it's no longer the case. Presidential tenure in office has 10-year tenure in office, which means five of each.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's totally different.
Okay, I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to come back to South Sudan, what's happening in South Sudan. I know we're blaming the AU for not, stepping forward and, putting their voice in it. We're blaming the United Nations. We're blaming the international community. But what about the immediate neighbors of South Sudan? What about the powerful Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda? What about these surrounding powerful countries? Why are they watching our brothers and sisters in South Sudan suffer?
The world has
killed?
changed. The world has changed, my sister.
Why are we going
We-
far away? Yet
we are-
over here we have our
we are-
neighbors.
We are living in an era in terms of global politics, which I'm a student, I follow them very keenly. We are living in a different era. And this era in our global politics,
Yeah.
Each country, they have a lot on their plate, and it's not chapati. So it's not even ugali, it's not even fufu. So if I go to West Africa, to be understood what I'm saying, look at it this way. You talk about US, you see, used to be the leader pecked on United Nations.
That's right.
And this United Nations Security Council will be quickly able to sit down and make decisions how to address issues like Sudan, and then they work with their counterparts in Africa.
Right.
Even if it was like before now, when we used to worry about our neighbors, you would have seen heads of states in East African countries coming together and saying, oh my goodness, we cannot accept what's going on in Sudan, or the Gizon people are dying. A lot of people are dying. We have to quickly come together and come up with a plan to address this. They could have done that. But Tanzania, they had election. Kenya, we had some maandamano. Uganda, they're still trying to get rid of
Everybody
Museveni.
has got a
We are
lot on their
busy.
plate. Right. Okay.
We have a lot on our
Right.
plate, and it's not plantains.
But then, at what point do these countries then step in? At what point?
It should be now,
Because
we don't want any one single life to go. If I had power, if I was in power, even if I was a president, even if it meant I tell my people, guys, if you don't mind, let's reschedule your mandamano. I'll be out of the country. I'll come back next week. Carry on from there.
yeah.
To address it, it's
so
ancient.
really and truly, then it's down to the
Ancient.
down to the leadership
Yeah.
in those
They drive
regions.
things.
Because when one country around that area is derailed, no doubt it will catch
Affect
up with
others.
it will affect and it will catch up with the neighboring countries. So I'm wondering, they're taking too long. How many lives must be lost before the referee says, right, that's it, stop, it's the end?
No life should be lost. And civil war, like is the case in Sudan,
Yes.
it's difficult to it'll keep on going if other people don't come to stop it. It's like a family. When you guys are at war in one family, it's difficult even for neighbors to intervene, because they don't know why you are fighting.
Yes.
So, but neighbors have the right to come and say, your house is surrounded, stop fighting.
Yes.
You want to understand why you are fighting.
Yes.
So there has to be action.
Yes.
We are calling out African countries, even if it's AU or East Africa Community, do something. Sudan needs you now. Don't leave it alone.
What about the diaspora, Julius?
Role of diaspora, therefore, theirs is just to keep on calling out. And if
Yeah.
you have a role, anything you can do to even attract attention from the international community to revoke us,
Yeah.
refocus.
So I think then
Yeah.
we're coming towards the end, but we should us as diaspora, on this show, let's request that the international community, the neighboring African countries, and also the ones in the west, in the north, in the center, please show up for South Sudan. One life lost, like Dr. Julius says, is just one too many. If we can please show up for South Sudan, that would be amazing. Julius, it was
Thank you.
always a pleasure to have you. I know it's great to talk about East Africa. We always focus on West. It was nice to give East Africa a little bit of a spotlight, and maybe next time more positivity
Yeah.
for East Africa. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for also giving us Informa East Africa, which is a publication which is very key within that region.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and staying with us and hearing more about East Africa. I know we talk more about West Africa, but next time we'll give you more about East Africa again. Thank you for staying with us. And until next time, God bless you. Goodbye.
You are watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.